Thank you. Chairman Pomeroy, Ranking Member Johnson, members of the subcommittee. In this setting, before this subcommittee, celebrating the 75th anniversary of Social Security, it seems fitting to reflect on past congressional champions of Social Security. Claude Pepper, a long-serving, tireless champion of Social Security, an advocate for seniors, the late Speaker of the House, Tip O'Neill, and other past champions understood the vital role Social Security plays in affording some measure of economic security to American workers and their families. They were, and they saw themselves, as the program's vigilant guardians. Having observed them personally, I'm confident that they would have expressed appropriate outrage at some of the rhetoric surrounding Social Security today, just as Representative Klein did here this morning. Recently, for example, some policymakers have argued for cutting Social Security by quoting Willie Sutton, the notorious bank robber, who, when asked why he robbed banks, replied, "Because that's where the money is." The quip presents an unintended but revealing picture. Bank robbers and politicians, all eager to grab the money that hardworking Americans trustingly hand over every payday to what they believe is a safe institution. Similarly, the irreverent tone of some policymakers towards obligations backed by the full faith and credit of the United States and held in trust for American workers and their families, referring to those obligations as IOUs, is a serious disservice to the American people. More fundamentally, the injection of Social Security into the broader deficit debate is almost unprecedented. Past Congresses have worked hard to prevent just that. The Budget Act of 1974 excludes Social Security from budget reconciliation. The funds are segregated in a trust, just as private employers are required to keep their pension funds in trust separate from the general operating funds. In stark contrast, the co-chairs of today's Deficit Commission have publicly stated that Social Security is a central focus of their work. Now, 2 weeks ago, the House approved legislative language that committed it to vote on any Senate-passed recommendations of the Deficit Commission. Notwithstanding that vote, I strongly recommend that this subcommittee insist that any proposals dealing with Social Security be referred here, where the expertise resides. The Commission lacks a single commissioner or even a staff member whose primary area of expertise is Social Security and retirement income rather than the budget. More fundamentally, throughout Social Security's long history, Congress has always relied on the regular order when considering Social Security, including in 1977 and 1983, when Social Security faced a more immediate and much larger deficit than the one projected today. An issue as important and far-reaching as Social Security demands, as a procedural matter, deliberate, thorough consideration in the sunshine, with hearings, open markups, full debate, and opportunity for amendment, as it has always happened over 75 years. As a substantive matter, I urge the members of this body to follow the will of the people. There's much polarization in the country today, but Social Security is an issue where the people are united. The polarization comes between the people on the one hand and much of the policy and media elites on the other, who have somehow been convinced by a select group of experts that Social Security should be scaled back. This is not necessary. The proposal that seems to have the most traction at the moment in Washington is increasing the retirement age, which, as this chart on the last page of my testimony reveals and illustrates, is a substantial across-the-benefit cut for retirees. This is not what the American people want. Poll after poll, including the NASI poll that Ms. Reno just spoke of, indicates that the American people, but there are many other polls that come out the same way, the American people, by overwhelming percentages, support Social Security, believe its benefits, if anything, are too low, and want its projected deficit closed by increasing taxes, ideally progressively, not by cutting benefits. And they do not want Social Security mixed in with overall deficit discussions. These are the views held by Democrats, independents, Republicans, union households, Tea Partiers, the young, the old, and every other demographic and age group you can divide the poll into. I believe, as others at this hearing have also said, that the preference of the American people is also the best policy. In closing, I applaud the chairman of this subcommittee and urge everyone in Congress to follow the lead, as he is doing, of those who've come before. I urge you to reject the conventional wisdom here in Washington. I further urge you to continue to demonstrate to the American people that you understand Social Security's importance. And then after you show that you understand, proceed to follow their will and their wisdom. Thank you.